Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's a nice sunny afternoon, so I thought, well, let's record this video outside. A bit chilly, but I think it'll be good change of scenery. So today I'm going to talk about managing work-related stress and finding fulfillment and joy in the work that we do. Often, we are busy at work. We go from one meeting to the next meeting, one project to the next project. And you know what, on a Friday, when we look back, we find we were very busy at work, but we don't really see, or we can't identify what did we actually achieve from achieve something that actually brings us joy, or yeah, I actually did made a positive change in what I did. So I'm going to tackle some of these problems, and because if we don't look at these problems down the line, they'll lead to burnout. We will lose the joy and the fulfillment that we want to get from work, and the stress will eventually kill us. Not in the literal sense, but you know what I mean, because this was something I battled with. I'm going to own up to that. I mean, I had teams all over the globe in different countries, customers all over the place, managing large operations, and sometimes it gets to you. So I took a step back, looked at things and analyzed how or where I was heading, and I said, you know what, I need to take some control over what I do and how I do that. So there were some tips which really helped me. So I thought, I'm going to share them in this video today in the hope that they'll benefit some of the people watching this video. So let's get started. The first tip which I'm going to share with you is about looking at setting the tone of the whole work week. And again, the whole series of tips which I'm going to share with you, they're going to be about how can you take control of your working day, your working week, your mood, and how you can channel them to a more positive place. So the first thing is to look at your whole work week, and which is basically what I do is on a Thursday or a Friday afternoon, I'll sit down and plan the next week's activities, which is what are the key things which I really want to do. Once I've identified them, I see what are the days I actually need to focus upon those key activities, and then I'll block time out in my calendar so nobody can actually disturb me or plan any meetings around that time, which gives me uninterrupted focused time to achieve those things. And when I am trying to find those key things which I want to block time out for, I ask myself the question, what are those one or two things which if I did today, I would feel fulfillment and joy at the end of the day, that I've achieved something. So if those few things which will bring you fulfillment and which will allow you to kind of classify your day as a successful day, those are the key things you want to block your days out. So that's what I do on a Friday or Thursday. I will sit down and plan the whole week, and I'll say on such and such day I'm going to do this, and this is my 1 hour or 2 hour slot where I'm actually going to focus on this, which means my other colleagues, they already know that I'm busy, they can't plan any meetings around that time, and I get uninterrupted focus time to focus on those things. So that's the first tip. The second tip is about managing the energy of the day. So when you start the day, it is on a positive note, and when you end the day, it is again on a positive note. So it is a tip which I learned from Dr. Marshall Goldsmith, and he recommends that when you start the day, you start by asking yourself a set of questions which would allow you to focus your mental energies on a more positive note. For instance, I ask myself the question, how am I going to focus on the activities which will bring me joy? How am I going to work on those activities which will make me happy? How am I going to appreciate the people both in personal and work life who bring a positive fulfillment to my day, who I enjoy working with? It's a similar set of questions I will ask myself, in the start of the day. I've got an Excel document where I've got these 20-30 questions written down, and I'll go through them one by one. What this does is that it kind of channels my mind on a more positive note. So when I'm starting the day, it all kind of is on a positive note. It's more focused, it's more targeted on what I'm looking to achieve in that day. When the day finishes, the last thing that I do is that I go back to the same questionnaire and I say, my intention was to be more happy and focus on the activities which would make me happy. Did I actually do that? The intention of the day at the start was to, say thank you to the people who make my day more fulfilling, who help me with different things. Did I actually do that? So it's a check and balance at the end of the day, which makes me evaluate my day. And if I feel, no, I didn't really achieve that, it allows me to, think and ponder upon why didn't I achieve that, so I can correct those things the day after. It's really, really good because you can then check how each day went, and you can course correct if some day didn't really go in a more positive way. You can see and identify the causes which caused the day to become a bit more negative. Now, if you're watching this video on my YouTube channel, you'll find at the bottom in the video description the link to Dr. Marshall Goldsmith's article where he tells you about his questions. If you're not watching this on YouTube, please head over to my YouTube channel to find that article by Dr. Marshall Goldsmith, which will allow you to develop your own questionnaire for this activity, which I highly recommend. The third thing which we're going to look at is about how do we manage the notifications around social media, around instant messaging, all very useful activities, but also very distracting if not managed properly. I actually turn off all notifications during the working day. I try not to look at internet or social media all times. In fact, I go to the extent, if you're working on a Windows machine, at the bottom right notification section, you get a envelope email icon when you get a new email within Microsoft Outlook. I even turn that off. The reason is, if I'm sitting and I'm writing a document or preparing something, I don't want to be, distracted by a new email coming in or somebody sending me a message or doing something. I actually want to stop these notifications and focus on what I'm doing, which means I'm not multitasking. Multitasking is one of the causes for stress because you're trying to juggle too many balls. You can't focus on one thing, which just drains away your joy. So that's my next step. Turn off any notifications which are not necessary. Look at them afterwards, but to be honest, it would do you, it at least worked very well for me because it allowed me to focus on things. And if you miss an email or two, which you come back to an hour, 2 hours later, I'm honestly telling you, it's not going to make too much of a negative impact. So that's the third tip. So the next thing is to look at how we manage and run our meetings. I actually run my meetings with an intention that I want to get through them as quickly as possible and get the results as quickly as possible, because I don't want to bore people to death in my meeting. So what I do is that, I will set an agenda out. I will highlight in bullet points exactly what I want to discuss and what are the results I want to achieve. I will highlight who are the key people I need within this meeting to reach those decisions. What this does is that all the participants who have invited, they are already somewhat aware of what are we going to discuss. So they come to the meeting prepared. So I'm not wasting time, neither theirs nor mine, discussing and bringing people up to speed. So it kind of helps us get up to speed quickly, get to the actual, discussion that we need to have and make those decisions that we need to make, which allows me to finish my meetings early. I have a rule that I try to finish my meetings 10 to 15 minutes before their scheduled finish time. It just gives, people a lot more positive outcome. Oh my God, I've got 10-15 minutes back in my day. And if again some of your colleagues, they've got a lot of meetings or busy day, it gives them that break to grab a cup of coffee or have a comfort break, get a glass of water, and it kind of leaves them on a more positive note. So this is how I run my meeting, with a proper focus on exactly what I want to do with tasks. So there is clarity and people are coming with the right intentions, right knowledge, so we can get the discussion underway and the decisions made very, very quickly. The next thing is about email. Now, a lot of people live and swear by email. I don't actually. I have got scheduled times in the day when I will look at email. As I said earlier, I actually block time out to focus on the key things that I want to do during the working day, right? Which means I only look at email when it's not the kind of a key focus time for me. Which means when my energy levels are high in the morning, I will look at that work which requires a lot more attention, a lot more mental strain, so I can give it a lot more mental energy. My email I reserve for afterwards. Some people might think, oh my God, you're not checking your emails. Yeah, I don't check my email. And the reason I don't check my email is people asking me to help them. If I'm helping you, and with all due respect, if I'm helping you, I'm not helping myself. If I'm helping you fulfill something or do some work, then when am I focusing on my own work? So I will look at as a first priority of what I need to do, and then I will schedule time 2 or 3 times a day when I will do nothing else, but I will look at email and I will answer to queries or requests for help. Honestly speaking, if something is really, really urgent, somebody will pick up a phone and interrupt you. That is when you can stop doing what you're doing and you can answer the phone and help them. But otherwise, email is not really that necessary for you to be looking at it constantly, unless you are in some sort of a job where you are asked to look at email, which I'm not sure why you would need to do so 24/7. Then the last thing which I want to say is that try and plan breaks with intention within your day. See, what we do is we focus on work that we need to get done. We look at tasks that we need to accomplish. We often don't think about breaks. We don't think about getting up from our desk and taking a walk or getting a cup of coffee or, going out at lunchtime for 10-15 minutes. You need these breaks for you to be more productive, your mind to be more relaxed, and for you to kind of have your best energy available to do the work. So make sure when you're planning your day, you plan the day with some breaks in your working day, whether it's 9 to 5, 8 to 6, whatever is your working pattern. That will help you schedule things out, and it will stop the burnout that you're tired at the end of the day, which you don't want to be, because that's then your me time when you finish your job. And again, when you're planning things, don't plan back-to-back meetings. Again, it's just not, sometimes, yeah, I appreciate it's not realistic. Some, your busy days happen, but try to keep them an exception rather than a regular occurrence. You want to have days where you have got things, breaks, and you're doing something else. You do not want to have back-to-back meetings and things happening over there. Now, again, all these tips seem very, very simple and it's very commonplace, but to be honest, if you're like me, you're not doing this, or you were not doing this. Sometimes even I forget these things. I have to kind of do my daily question check and make sure I'm doing the right thing, because when I'm working, I want to deliver my best output, whoever I'm working for, whether that's a customer or client or colleague, right? And these things help me stay focused, help me have the most energy, and help me deliver the best outcome possible. So I hope you find these tips useful. If you've got something which you'd like to add, which would help me enrich my life at work, please do share, leave a comment and drop me a note. You can throw me a question on Twitter as well. I'll put the link of all my social media profiles. And again, till next time, have a nice day. Thank you.